Building my 1982 928 Porsche has been a long journey. As you can see, it's went through a couple of different renditions as far as the motor, as far as the interior of the car, and man, it's been interesting to say the least. One thing I've learned is that when you're dealing with friends and mechanical work, a lot of times they don't go together too well. Initially, the person I had doing the car screwed me out of a bunch of cash and kind of left me hanging with the car, and I had to basically start over. But I did find a good person that took on this project and got the motor finally running right. And the car now is very dependable and drivable. And getting to that point, it's just been a challenge. I've had this car. It's hard to imagine, but I've had this car longer than I've had my Chevelle. So I've had this car almost, I want to say, close to 9 years. And it doesn't even seem like it because I've barely got to drive the car. I mean, I took it on a couple of drives, and that's when I got kind of duped into doing all the work to the car, as far as taking out the original motor I had in the car, which was an LT1, the old school first gen LT1s that was in the older 84, 85 Corvettes. And I had a 350 and ended up swapping that. But the car never really ran right. So, it just sat and it sat and it sat. And that person, I don't no longer talk to them. So, I was able to get the car from that person, got it to my other guy who got the car running. And once I got the car running, I drove around a little bit, but I always had a vision of doing a wide body. So that was a whole nother journey with, figuring out how I wanted to wide body the car, because I didn't want to do it like a lot of the wide bodies out there right now. I want to have the car looking like it could have came from the factory like that. But I found some wide body parts and kind of played with them a little bit, and worked them and sculpted them to where it became more of a, not really what the original wide body is, but more of a one-off. So I had a good friend who spent months perfecting this wide body and getting it to a point where we could actually take it to the paint shop and have them clean it up. But I know some people consider it sacrilegious to put a Chevy V8 in a German car or an Italian car, but this 350, man, it already had an LT1 in it, so putting a 350 in it, it was just a natural fit. Great motor, it's got a mild cam in it, runs good, easy to maintenance. My parts, I can find them anywhere. And I've had a 928 with a Porsche 928 V8 engine in it, and trying to find parts for that thing was just a headache. And I mean, super expensive, because there's only a couple people in the country who have the 928 parts. So having the V8 in the car, I can actually drive it, enjoy it. I got all the modern amenities, the Holley Sniper EFI. I got vintage air. I have, a billet serpentine setup, 4-core radiator, the proper cooling. I mean, everything's right there. So the car is a GT car that I can drive from Arizona to New York if I want to, with no issues. So, that was one of the pluses of having the Chevy 350 in the car. this is like the prototype for the customization I'm gonna be doing in the future for other clients. Looking back now, had I known what I know, I would have probably have just threw like an LT4 or an LSA engine. For the amount of money I've already put into the engine of this car, I could have done those things. But like I said, when you're doing business with people that you call your friends, sometimes things can go sour. People take your kindness for weakness, and just those type of relationships can make doing business difficult. So, if you do have a mechanic friend, hopefully you have a good relationship with that person, and they're not going to try to rip you off or take advantage of your money situation to benefit themselves, and then make excuses for why they can't get the work done. But yeah, I still have the Mercedes transmission, because for you guys who don't know, the Porsche 928, the automatic, came with a Mercedes transmission. It's got a Kennedy adapter. It's got the Brembo brakes, monster sway bars, coilovers. I have some custom wheels on the car right now, but I actually have some race lines that I'm gonna be putting on the car, and these are some one-off two-piece, and they're insane. My vision for this car, the hood scoop kind of gives it away. You can tell that it's not stock, but my vision for this car was a Hot Wheel, a German Hot Wheel with American muscle. I've always loved the 928 ever since Scarface, Risky Business, and I wanted to do my own version of the 928. I've had 911s. I've had a 911 Targa. I've had a 968. I had an old school 912 with a wide body kit on it. And so I'm kind of partial to wide bodies. And as you can see, man, there was a lot of work that went into doing this wide body kit. Shout out to my homie Renison. He put a lot of time and, handcrafted this thing to perfection. And it wasn't a quick process. I mean, when you talk about laying down fiberglass and really getting something to fit, man, it's a lot of work. It's not just putting rivets and, popping something on. And, I went with the Autometer gauges and interior, got the Momo steering wheel, got leather along with Alcantara, and interior still being worked on. When this thing is finished, it's going to be a masterpiece. It's going to be really a sight to see. I'm really excited. I went through and changed all the door rubbers, all the window rubbers. Stuff is, man, these 928 rubbers is no joke, because whenever you change and you take the glass out, you want to replace the rubbers. And even here, this car, I had it at this shop, and that guy was an asshole. So I took it from his shop to my current shop, which is, great guy. He does excellent work. And yeah, he cleaned up the bodywork, man. I mean, this guy's, he's an artist. He's I would say somebody who is equivalent to what you would consider a sculptor. And he sculpted this thing to perfection, and we picked out this green. Initially, I had a burnt orange, but from having to paint so long, that paint went bad. So we went with this green, which is a sick color. And man, I'm so excited about the car. I mean, you can only imagine having a car for 9 years, almost 10 years, and not driving it is pretty stressful. So I could have bought an exotic car for the amount of money and time I put into this car, but this is it's a piece of me, man. It's a part of my personality, and I've always been the guy who can't do things simple. I gotta have something that's unique, and this car will definitely be unique at the end of the day. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And, I'll catch you at the next car show and we could chop it up. Big Herc 916.
Never settle for average has always been my motto in life. So I've been fortunate enough to get together with the brand NSFA and become a brand ambassador, because there's no room for mediocrity in life. So whether you're out here and you're an athlete, you're in entertainment, you're a business person, represent and pick you up a hat. And for those of you who are law enforcement, military, veterans, first responders, use code USA15 and get 15% off. Click the link in the description and never settle for average.
Stop walking around with a crusty butt, smelly ball sack, and a funky hoo-ha. Big Herc said, wash that ass. Pick you up a t-shirt at freshoutseries.com.
Hello, I'm Big Herc 916. Contact me for life coaching and motivational speaking.